Dose of peaceful love and help them understand the more regenerative nature that Earth itself is going through. No one is going to stay in the cities much longer. They suck, especially here in the Western world, and people are abandoning them in droves already. The system is crumbling and falling apart, and it can only continue to do so. Yeah, it's just a trickle right now, but it's a nice little trickle. Hundreds of thousands of people are already leaving the city and looking for a new life, and sometimes finding it. You see, the restless nature of humanity is feeling itself. It knows it's about to pop. It's about to hatch right back into its true paradise. The baby-like world, where everything is simple and real and beautiful and happy. We're just totally enthralled and enthused to be in it, and so much so that we can live in our creative source. And this earth does not deny us anything. We don't need industry or agriculture or business and banking or movies or anything like that to motivate us into being what we are. We simply be it. And what we see is what we be. And what we need comes forward in creation because our heart creates it. You need a pineapple, you need a papaya, you need an Arctic Circle cheeseburger, whatever, man. You know it's there. And you don't have to kill animals. You don't have to do anything, create any violence in the reality to do it. You simply say, wow, there it is, and it is, because something inside of you thought of it. Even before you think of it, it appears, and then you see what it was there for because you're ready for it. You needed that little bit of food, whatever it was. You needed that little bit of shelter, whatever it was, etc. A nice home, whatever. And if tomorrow morning Spirit tells you to move on to another place 300-500 miles away, you do it. Because there's a home waiting for you there, too. And you got the key to the door. It just appears in your pocket. You see what I mean? This is how we make the shift, the transition between what we've seen of as two worlds and bring them into one. We bridge the gap between the unreal and the real. We've lived in the unreal long enough, wouldn't you say? We know what unreal is. Now we get rid of the because it's undone, and back we come as the children of the sun, the divine heart in motion. The exotic side of creation, yes indeed, because we are artists, each and every one of us. And baby, we got it underway, and this is the way we're going to play. It's going to stay. This is just an awakening moment. It goes from here, baby. But in that awakening is all of humanity awakening too. So babies, you can assist us, and we can continue to assist you here on this Koyote Medicine Show. Keep the music rocking, keep your heart in motion. Keep the divine revealing itself, babies. This week we need a little help. We're running a little short on funds this week. So listen, if you can get over to thecoyoteclub.com, I've got a little rescue kit over there that a good friend of ours out of the chat room creates. They're little leather pouch stash bags with a crystal latch and then a little crystal pendant that goes around your neck. Beautiful. And high energy. The person that creates them charges them up with some good developing energy, and then Grandpaw reiterates and adds a little more. So it's kind of a resurrecting kind of energy in this little rescue kit. In other words, it's going to recreate all your values, all your views, and help you walk on through. So if you're experiencing difficulty in any way in your life, I suggest you get one of those little Coyote rescue kits over there at thecoyoteclub.com. Now, another good deal I've got for you is the Atomic Bum by Coyote Bear, which happens to be me. Just one of my pseudonyms. And a very telling one at that, too. That little book, just $20 with the shipping over there on thecoyoteclub.com. That's autographed by the author, right to you personal. Or if you want it autographed to someone else, please do send me a little message along with your donation there, and we'll get that autographed to whomever you want. And make sure that the address the PayPal has for you is the right one. So if there's any question about your address, Be sure to include your correct address with your order in the little notes section, okay? And babies, whatever you can do to help us out, we sure do appreciate it. We'll just keep on rocking no matter what, because there ain't no stopping us now. The reality is what it is, okay? And it does what it does, and we're all doing it as we should be doing it, in that sweet and childlike way. So babies, don't worry about it. Just get out there and play. If you're the kind that likes to sit in the corner and just radiate, well, do that. If you're the kind that has to sit on a mountain and radiate, do that. If you're the kind that has to go out there and mix it up with people and challenge their reality a bit, well, do that, etc. If you're one of those that's been hiding in the background and doing all the dark shit for the military, come out of the closet, expose yourself, and tell on the rest of them what you know. You see, they've compartmentalized it all away into secrecy, so this person has that, this person has that, and that person has that. And nobody sees the big picture except for a few creme de la cremes. Well, send some good vibes to them creme de la cremes. Let's get them coming out of the closet and talking to people like Dr. Greer and so forth and exposing it, why not? It's time for humanity to accept its blessings. And if we can accept the incredible technology that's already here and been held in secret away from us, well, babies, it's only another step or two before you accept and embrace your total power in creation. This is what the technology exists for. And this, of course, is what all the control freaks, the weirdos, have tried to keep us from throughout all these generations. And we've done that service so we could go through all the aspects of that uncreative side of ourselves and bring that side of ourselves back in conformity with the true heart of love that it is. So in other words, expect bright blossoms coming from the darkest places in this world as you continue to go through your paces and your changes inside of yourself. Don't let this outside world distract you too greatly. Pay attention to things like, Castilla County where they're having problems. Put your energy there. Help them. And if you have to help them in a more direct way, do so. Whatever it takes, babies. Follow the flow of your heart wherever creation leads. You'll get the hang of it. See, you're being trained back into your creative self by allowing yourself to what you first feel is an intuitive flow. But the feelings get deeper as you learn to trust the reality of it. And pretty soon they are just the flow, and you're not even making a choice anymore. You're just going with the flow. Life gets so simple then, and so pure. And that's where everyone on earth is headed. And if you don't think that brings peace, well, you don't think much, do you? It's here to last. We're not going to allow this dropping of bombs much longer, if at all. I think we're about done with that shit. Let alone the shooting of weaponry at one another. The conscious presence of humanity is declaring itself in your heart right now. And because of this, others begin to experience it. And it'll be impossible to draw down on anyone or anything or drop a bomb, etc. Because you'll be fully present in conscious experience. Even machines like the drones have a form of feeling within them. And they can be made to divert away from targets and so forth. I mean, it's just simple and pure. Be loving towards all. See the love coming forward in all. See that vision. Relieve that vision inside. Relive it. Let it come forward. Be it. And this is our reality. That's how we create. I pointed out to you once again. Just let it flow. Trust it when it shows you itself. Let it flow. And then again, if you waver this way, waver... shit, I've stepped off the path so many times. It make you dizzy. But look, I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I'm still doing it. I make mistakes right and left. I'm as klutzy as a human being as there is, anywhere, But I just keep going. I keep flowing. I learn from my mistakes. I gather understanding, and I move. And I don't stop loving anybody. You understand? I love everybody. Because that is my own love reflecting back to me as a person, which of course is personal in you too. Each one of us has its own unique view, yet that view combines with everyone's to make the larger view of the whole of creation. You see why we're starting to learn how to embrace ourselves from the inside out and let go of all these values that we've been taught. They're total bullshit. and just see the value in ourselves, and let that bring forward the value, the appreciative value in everything else. Simple and easy as pie. Well, pie's not the easiest thing to do. Pie crust is a beast, you know, takes a little doing. You know, there's a refinement in the recipes and a certain feel to the dough when it's just right and ready to press out, etc., you see. Kind of similar to life, but it's not really tricky. It just takes realizing the feeling, the flow, what it takes. You know, how long to leave it in the fridge and when to pull it out and when to, you know, mash it down and make it into pie crust, etc., you see. And then you got to add the feeling, you know. Let the love flow, in other words. You know, you create the opportunity for thing, that's the pie shell. And then you let the flow coming through your heart fill it with creation. Then, babies, you got an apple pie or a cherry pie that, you know, George Washington and Tom Jefferson and Betsy Ross would line up at the door with $100 bill in their hands, ready to get a slice of it, you see. I mean, this is really good doing. This is really good eating. This is like the best there could ever be. Supreme de la Supreme and all that stuff, you know. It's the very ambrosia of life we're living. And that's the recipe we're given to be living. So just follow that flow when you feel it, don't you know? And let the feelings deepen and broaden. Let this disillusion continue to occur inside, which is, you know, basically unstructuring everything you've known inside as protection and so forth, and rearranging yourself to be fully confident in the presence of yourself, so that life would never ever be perceived as a harmful place to you, and therefore never ever will be. That's the power of your own creative heart, don't you see? Oh, and happy birthday to Mr. Tom Petty right here, right now, right today, man. I think he's 23 or so. One of the true showmen of rock and roll. Still rocking, still rolling, still giving like 200-300 concerts a year. Oh my goodness, him and the Heartbreakers, man. They're real heartbreakers, heart makers, man. Got some real honest truth in some of them tunes, and oh my goodness, baby, just touch the heart with everything they do, man. We admire them too here on the Koyote Medicine Show here on the Hazy Radio Network, in case you can't tell, babies. Ooh, Saving Grace, one of my favorite hits of all time. I wish I could find, I used to have it, I don't know where it went, this beautiful rendition of Saving Grace they did in rehearsal. Oh my goodness. It was better than anything you ever heard on stage. It's like 15 minutes long, too. It was awesome. One of these days it'll pop up on my radar, and I'll have it again here on the Koyote Medicine Show. With this tunage that makes your heart large and the medicine for your soul, that gets the rock in your roll, the roll in your rock, and the soul in your heart, and the heart and the soul working together, and oh, babies. Ooh, guess what? Now that we've given some birthday salutations to our good friend Tom Petty, oh my goodness, you notice we play him quite often here on the Koyote Medicine Show. Can't help it, man. The guy just reaches out and touches you, you know, and besides that, it's hard to tell him no when he's jumping up and down and throwing a fit back there in the green room, you know. Oh, rock is roll, and roll is music for your soul. Oh, babies, you ain't gonna believe this. It's another exciting news break, a news flash, here on the Coyote News Net Rock. Hell, babies, we rock, they talk. Oh, those guys haven't been talking enough about the things that count, and we all know it, gee whiz. We forgive them just the same, but we're going to help them come back to having a heart in their brain, a soul in their rock and roll. Don't you know? That is, we're talking about, you know, CNN and the Cowardly Bullshit Network and so on and so forth, man. Those guys that pretend they're in the know and try to mislead the public, don't you know? I mean, day in and day out. Amazing things have happened there, though. Even there, they got Michio Kaku, this doctorate dude from Japan who believes in love and water and helping it grow and helping you grow because the water loves you too, don't you know? He's real scientific about it, though. Well, anyway, that very same dude's on one of the CBS programs this week declaring a rather large object observed by certain telescopes out there in the great beyond to be a creation of an ET nation, man. Little do they know of the rock and the roll. Now, I know many people have a vision, you know. I mean, there's a lot of it going on out here on the internet. A lot of disinfo, a lot of fear tactics going on. Well, a lot of people have an image of this planet Nibiru coming close to Earth and ripping the shit out of us, and everybody's got to abandon the planet in order to survive the great cataclysm that's coming. You see? And, babies, we're here to tell you that the heart of the universe will see it otherwise. You see? Now, there are explanations for everything that's going on out there that you see in the universe, including that you don't see, which is the multidimensional aspect of reality, you see. Many of these huge planetary type objects that seem to be coming our way are in fact, you know, a part of the multidimensional reality. And yes, they are making themselves known in somewhat of a material form here. So they could be seen and observed as the floating observation platforms that they are. You see, when Grandpa Coyote here on the Koyote Medicine Show tells you that the universe is tuned in, well, it most certainly is. And now it's beginning to show itself because guess what? Your heart is warmed up sufficiently to allow that to be. In other words, the sunrise inside coming up. And we're all taking that ride. You know, now there may be some out there with tender feelings and, you know, still got a lot of heartache going on. Whatever, darlings, you're in it. We're all in it together. It's not just get together, are together, and are together now. So says the aspects, my divine little spies, the angels of the hot chick over there and loving you, that sweet little country between the Mediterranean and the Alps, somewhere north and a little east of Milan, Italy, babies. Ooh, babies. And she's got the inside scope on everything because, well, she's the hot chick. Her and her sister, Mary Jane, and a few others. Ooh, you got to meet this family sometime. Baby, well, they kind of control and dictate the flow here these days, don't you know? But, of course, they're guided by your heart and soul. So here's the news that you can use. The real inside scoop on the real poop in life, man. Not the BS those other guys behest. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, you know, these dudes and dudettes should hang their tiny little faces in shame and go reform themselves in the restroom for a little while, redo their makeup and their hair, and come out a real person. And let's get some real rock and truth going on here, people, because it's becoming unavoidable, what with the Keshi technology being released all over the earth, etc., babies. Just be ready. I mean, that's only a 3D indication. Now, these larger objects out in the universe are, like I said, mostly they're observation platforms, where humans can be observed through, kind of like what we have out there in them floating telescopes, beaming around and looking in on planets that we never could see before, and so forth. Yeah, right. Do you realize how long the secret space program has gone on? Since about 33, I think, and then some, babies. 1933. Yeah, you heard me right, babies. Well, that's some news, too, but news that you can use is here in the heart. You see, your heart, our heart, the universal heart, has finally relented in favor of humanity. And finally now, we're opening that door so we really can and are even in the score and coming back to life in wholesale fashion. Now this takes place in many different stages, of course. And one of those stages is underway right now. Here in this free-falling reality that we call life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes, indeed. At least over on this side of the planetary reality, well, at least we pay lip service. It may not be real because we've been taken over by a bunch of, dinkheads, and that's for real too. But exactly. See, we ain't taken over by nothing. We aren't owned by anyone, no matter how much force they seem to have on their side. You see, because the universe has relented in its heart in the favor of humanity, well then we are favored by the arrival on this planet of some of the largest, most gracious hearts in the universe with an energy to match ours. These are beings and presences that have held themselves in abeyance, have held themselves back again and again, as humanity trashed itself again and again too. But this time, they finally got the signal. The heart finally relented in our favor because we relented in our favor. We actually allow that there may be some power inside of each and every personal being here. That may be the actual power of creation, and not an abomination, but wow, a fascination with creation, a life that's lived in it completely. So these divine hearts, these divine angelic assistants, coming in the form of some of our ET brothers and sisters, are arriving now in the planetary reality after having held themselves back out there on the edges of time and just waited for the time that they would be invited by your gracious heart to attend our beginner, when all of humanity and the universe too comes out as a winner. And thank you, Tom Petty, and all the rest of you too, the rockers of this reality that have helped, seen to it as the beautiful angels that they are, disguised as tawdry human being rock stars, for their grand contribution to this ascendant tendency amongst humanity, baby. Ooh, when you start to really hear the tunage that makes your heart lodge here on the Coyote Medicine Show, oh baby, don't you know, you start to feel the flow and get the glow of the heart. And it sets you free, baby. Yes, indeed. Because inside of all this great tunage that touches your heart anyway is implanted little codes, little tones and suggestions that reach in and touch the subdural, subconscious and bring it into conscious presence so that you can see truth. So what was hidden becomes real, and it's because the aspect of the heart opens and the heart and the mind become a unison, a unit of one, combined with that third element of your own sweet love, which is the fuel for the fire of creation, you see. And it gets spinning around and round, and just gets bigger and bigger. The more consciously present you are in it, the more tickled pink you are about it, you see. Again, it goes back to those little moments in our young days when we were just sitting there watching the adults around us go crazy and do all kinds of silly antics. And not only were delighted and entertained by what we saw, but went in with them to feel what they were feeling and see why they were dealing with it in the way they are. And it just made us chuckle. It made us enthralled. It put chills up and down our little spiny whiny. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? It became the dancing thing. We saw the dance of life. We unified with life because we extended from those few family members that were acting up to the whole reality around us and felt it all and received of it and beat of it and become it, that creation that we are, you see, just as those tiny children. And we've never lost that moment. Not ever. It seemed to go away because we had to play in the dumbed-down way and subject ourselves to what they call education, which ain't nothing more than social conditioning, engineered by a bunch of cruel hearts. How savage could it be? How rotten could we be to one another? We've taken rottenness to its ultimate extreme and then some, haven't we? Yes, indeed. Now these gracious hearts come in to remind us of the true power, that there is no need for savagery, that each person, each being, each presence here is a divine gift of the universe to us all, and that each works with us in perfect synchronicity to bring about the greatest outcome for all. And that's the news today here on the Coyote News Network. I hope you're digging it, babies. Who be ready for some real swift and powerful change in your very own life this week, as well as in the larger reality. Be ready for some real pitches of bullshit, because they are going to try and distract you a little bit. and get you to, fool you again. But guess what? We can't be fooled. When you live in the heart, you live in truth, baby. When you feel it, that's what's real. And you know what I'm talking about. It's those deep feelings, not the fleeting feelings. They don't last anyway. They fleet. I got fleet feet. Hang on to the one that you know. Hang on to the heart and let it flow you in the right direction. And babies, all of your difficulties, all of your dissuasions, that which persuades you away from yourself, dissipate and dissolve away. And all the cunning shit right along with it too, because we don't need it when we're innocent. And that's what it's coming to, babies. Right here in this life that we call here the Coyote Medicine Show. The life of all, don't you know? Moving together in a singular flow once again. Now, we can't refuse old Tom, babies. He's got to have one more turn here. Now, it's not normal that we'll play, two of the same group back to back, but Tom Petty and Dell and his drummer. I don't even know the drummer's name, but he's awesome. But all of these guys deserve a beautiful honoring and acknowledgement from our gracious heart today. And again, our heartfelt thanks for being able to labor in such a hard way. Because, playing 300 gigs a year, it'll wear you down and wear you out, and you've got to take all kinds of exotic drugs to stay alive and capable and all that stuff. And look at old Tom Petty. He's done all right. I don't think he's too trashed by all that, is he? Guy's still going strong, man, setting an example for us all. Keep singing your heart song, and babies, it'll just get larger and larger. You'll have hit after hit after hit and be the rock star that you are, because you're already driving a rock star car. You might as well catch up with the rest of it, eh? So says Grandpa as we get the Coyote News Net Rock underway here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Your morning wake-up call and so much more exclusively on the ever-loving and sweethearted Hazy Radio Network, hazyradio.com. We got it on. Now, so do you.